Hello, welcome to this episode of How to Improvise. This one I'm working with my 13th Facebook improvisation, and this one I'm playing on a new piano. New as in not the one that I was playing on in the video before, and I'm going to read what I wrote about this one. So this is, I say, nice to have another acoustic piano to play. This one belongs to my dad and stepmom. I find that this piano muddies up when I approach it the way I would most other pianos. So my main intention for this improv was to meet this piano where it's at, to listen for what types of things it wants to say to me. I now have a new friend. Rather than feeling unfulfilled that it doesn't want to do what I want it to, I had a surprisingly good time playing Follow the Leader with this piano. The relationship drew new things from me, and there are many moments in this that I find intriguing, fulfilling, and joyous. All right, let's get into it. So the reason I started with gloves on is that this type of playing, I'm not concerned about what notes I'm playing at all. I'm just letting my hands move around, but I'm listening. So if I do find some notes that I like, I can stay there. I'm playing with dynamics, I'm playing with rhythm. I'm not super concerned about notes. When I was a teenager, I don't know if I did it by accident one time, or not by accident, but just kind of goofing around, played with mitts on, and found that it set free that part of me that was like, you gotta play the right notes. Which, especially if people are just starting to improvise, that's huge, playing the right notes. Like one thing we would do in music therapy school that was really liberating, and I'll put it in the context that I was doing my master's in music therapy. Most people had done their undergrad in music, or had studied, music for most of their lives, a particular instrument. So we would kind of free up all the tensions and things around the relationship to that particular instrument by just playing weird, random stuff. Like I'd played piano and guitar, that's what I'd grown up playing. So I played a lot of percussion, and that's where I felt the most free because I didn't have any kind of like self-worth or self-image connected to my percussion playing. It was just play with bum bum bum, playing the rhythms. It was like raw and immediate rather than what style are we doing? All the different stuff that comes in because I've heard from all these teachers and this and that and different feedback and all that. Things got pretty weird in that class because it was so liberating, like all these musicians having this really liberated experience of music. Like I remember this one improv where one of the guys, my friend Matthew, was playing the sound of the snow on the TV, like he was just playing the volume of that. Another time, the teacher actually, Dr. Carolyn Arneson, rolled a tambourine or something that rolled it across the floor, and that became a whole thing, like rolling it back and forth. Somebody turned the lights off at some point. Someone threw a pillow at someone else. Just like anything that made a sound or evoked sound became part of this musical sphere. One thing I want to say, and this is a bit of a joke that I thought up beforehand, full disclosure. I'm saying that because when I try to do something like rehearsed or prepared in these videos, it just falls on its face. And I think part of that is that I try to pretend that it's not. So here I'm just offering that up. So if in the first part you're like, oh yeah, easy for you to make fantastic music with your gloves, because those are probably special piano gloves. And just to prove to you that they're not special piano gloves, I'm just going to put on a pair of socks onto my hands and see how that goes. And that's also, oh, these are so long. Look at that. Wow, it's like they're designed. Maybe these are special piano socks for the hands. These are really good. Wow. These are a gift from my friend. Okay. A little more nuance in these type of piano socks. So this one, part of the element becomes the visual. This almost look like rainbow spider legs the way they move around. That's that sound in children's music. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. And the itsy bitsy spider went down the spout again. Gather round, kids. These are awesome. Okay. Anyway, these are not special piano socks. Any sock will do. Might not look this good, but it will do. Good way to liberate the... And those actually, I could easily play notes with those on. It's more just that they made me laugh. Okay. It's like dancing there. My body's dancing. That's fun. So now there's some notes that are juicy, so I'm staying with them. All right. I'm going to talk about sex. Even though this is obviously like a children's episode, I would have ticked off safe for kids in my YouTube thing, but no, it's not anymore. So the thing that is coming to mind here is that this is a relationship. Like I set out to have a relationship with this piano as it is, not like I want to come and do this to you. And this is where it's like sex. It's like I'm going to engage with an open spirited, playful attitude. So I'm bringing my own desire, I'm bringing my own impulse, and I'm finding that place where we flow together. Sex is a beautiful example because it's at its best, like just pure improvisation, mixing desire with receptivity in this like amazing, giving, receiving in this amazing balance. There's a teacher that I really love named Dr. Mark Goffney, and he talks about the secret of the kiss. And the secret of the kiss is that it's this thing that feels totally fulfilling and we're immersed in it and we're giving and receiving at the same time. And he talks about that as like one of the secrets of eros, and like really living a life in eros, in full aliveness, is that it's like, am I giving right now? Am I receiving? Both. So this is cool. So there's this or whatever's going on there. In the left hand, and that's kind of driving this rhythmic thing. The right hand, the notes still don't matter that much. There, I'm just letting my hands kind of fall sort of randomly. And here, not so much, because I'm trying to recreate what that guy's doing. But this guy he's just letting them fall. Maybe having a general idea of like, do I want this to be higher than the last one or not? And then receiving them. Boom, that's that. Follow this impulse. Oh, this leads me to another thing. Of like, all I need to know is the next right step. And I only need to know a little tiny bit of the next right step too. And then that like ensures that I'm in relationship with life. So I've been dealing with some anxiety lately, particularly around relationship, like around connecting. And, in part because I just went through a divorce not that long ago, I'm shooken up, in like how I relate. And so I've been really turning to my higher power, like a lot of prayer, a lot of asking for help take this anxiety, the things that I can't control. Let me trust that you've got it. And one of the messages that I keep receiving is, well, one step. That's all I need to do. Just one step. Which I'm just now seeing, like that's how this guy's playing piano. There's a beautiful overlap between improvisation and, all that kind of recovery work or whatever it is, or overcoming anxiety, that kind of thing. One step. That's good. Wow, that's really good. So what I'm, what this is making me speak of, and I'll stick with this theme of intimacy, sexuality, is the, like, oh, I just did that, and that felt really good. I'm going to do that again, maybe with a slight variation. And then there's this thing happening here. I'm going to rewind it a little bit because it's pretty cool, this part. There's like this resting spot, and then these little swells that rise up, sort of investigating the terrain. Ooh, and then back to resting. been providing that ground for so much of these different explorations that are kind of unique. Like, that is not often how I play, which is really neat. Like, what's happening there? So I'm playing a piano that I now love, but that I would often contrast against the piano that I grew up with. And this piano, I was like, meh, not super into it. Very different feel, different sound. Just like all the regular stuff didn't quite work on this piano. And here I found something that really works. Is that left hand thing that I can't figure out on this piano for some reason. And now it's like a lot of exploration happening, and then coming back to that thing that I know works. It's like I can rest in that as I explore. It reminds me of those videos about attachment styles, like the research they did on babies, where the securely attached child has a trusting relationship with its parent, so it can go out and explore and then come back. It knows it's safe to go because it knows the parent will still be there, and it knows it's safe to come back because it knows it's welcome. Neat. So there's that motif getting moved around. So when I was studying piano improv at York University with Professor Casey Sokol, who's a really brilliant teacher of improv techniques, has an amazing way of breaking it down. That was one of his things, of like taking a little thing and just moving it around. So even like when I was doing, I'll just say for that's what I was doing, and then my thing that I'm moving around here is just a mashy. I could easily play it with a glove. The motif is mash. Glove mash. And there, the motif is a little bit. It's got a couple components: mash, up, down. I'm going to play a clip of a beautiful example. So this guy, Steve Coven, was my tutor. We had the main professor, and then we had the tutors that we'd have little private sessions with once a week. And he had a song that just used motifs really beautifully. That kind of, this little 3-note. This part, I gotta put it back because I know what's coming here. This is one of my favorite things to emerge from improv. So there's that motif. Dun, 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 dun. Oh yeah. So it's got me thinking about motifs. So dun, 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 and then, which is like what Steve Coven was doing, which is interesting to me. This is 2 years ago, and I'm having the same associations, which I find kind of neat. And I think that's one of the things about improv that I'm learning to settle into. I used to have this idea that to improvise means to do something totally fresh. But we're always drawing on ourselves. We have the things, especially if I'm like attending to what feels good to me. There are things that feel good to me. Like I love having my head rubbed. That is going to feel good almost all the time. Even if that's already happened. I want that more. And, variations on that. Yeah, great. Bring that on. Okay. I'll go back a little bit more because I want to lead into this spot that's cool. Okay, so this turns into a bit of a like trance dance here, but why I wanted to go back and show that going in was that to me is like one of the most beautiful and sort of sacred things about improvising and about really being present is like I can be sort of moving my hands around, which I'm doing a lot in this. I'm just throwing my hands around. I'm not concerned about the note. It's very impulsive playing. But that when that comes, it's like, ooh, yeah, there's something there. And then back to bashing the hands around. I want more of that. That's that's opening up something. When I hear it come, and actually let's do it one more time. My sense is it's like it has a different energy, that little thing opening. If the whole color palette was black and white and then something showed up that was yellow, it's like, oh, what's that? Or even like not even yellow, but like silver, like it blends in, but it's like a little brighter, a little standy outy. So see if you pick up on that energy, and if you don't, you're not wrong. You're different than me. Maybe this is unique to me, this flavor. Right away, when that comes in, it's like, what is that? Reminds me. You know what? Oh, I like that's an explosion of energy. goodness gracious. So, um, yeah, the image that came to me, and I might not be remembering this right, but there was like a children's show or something. Since we're talking about children's shows and sex in this, that's two like separate things, but those seem to be the themes that are emerging. Um, the this image of like, don't remember. I'll see if I can find a clip of it and put it in. But where like this bird shows up with the mail or something like that.
Good dance. Word bird. Okay, partner, send down the word. Hup, hup.
And it's like, oh, who's that? All of a sudden, that's here. And this is almost like the bird shows up with the mail, and oh my goodness. And instead of the bird coming in and now being a part of the scene that's already there, it's like now we're all birds and we're heading out, and the whole perception becomes different now.